We are back in the Isaac Casino, and I gotta tell you, I wish I didn't have to tell you, but I gotta tell you. Ignore what you're about to see right here. By the way, just give it a second. I'm still working the caffeine through. We're building quite a streak recently. You're gonna see it for yourself. But randomize, tainted, forgotten blue baby. Hey, tainted, forgotten blue baby. That's a believer focused situation for sure. Before I bet, did you sleep well last night? I did. Although I will say, if this factors into your bets, like you just saw KG come into the diamond store or something like that, I did wake up at around 5:30 a.m. to empty my bladder. I gotta say that I think the bladder is like the easiest part of the human body to identify its exact location. You just wake up with like a dull ache in your low abdomen, and you're like, I bet that's what that is. Anyway, here we go. Let's get this show on the road here. I got the pop out ready to go. NL accomplishes objectives. Very believer heavy right now, but that's okay. Is emptying your bladder the new way to describe recording for YouTube? No, I just had to go pee. It's the old way to describe having a piss. There we go. I know it. No headache or nothing. Like I went back to bed. I'm just throwing that out there. But you know, I'm a believer though that like when it comes to like gambling on stuff like this, honestly, like the moment to moment differences in my mood day to day, I think they smooth out over time. You know, I think you just got to be a boglehead. You know, you bet in terms of the difficulty of the run. Don't try to time the market, and over time, you're going to end up with a bunch of useless channel points that grow slowly into something quite impressive. How does that sound? Hey, let me, get me out of here. Boring. What I meant to say is buy speculative options on SPACs that may or may not. I heard a rumor. My friend's cousin works for Merrill Lynch in Manhattan, and he says that this SPAC is going to become, what's the one people always look for? Square, not Square. Square's already on the market. You know, though, Stripe. They're like, it's going to be Stripe, man. I'm telling you, Pershing Square. A-class, dude, my friend's cousin works for JP Morgan, and he says that's gonna be Stripe. They're in talks to acquire Stripe right now. Jesse, what the... Okay, don't worry about it. Like, I'm sorry. Give me one of these. Give me one of these. I don't care about a blood bank on the next floor. Ooh, okay, well, we had a good streak going there. This is the secret room. I don't care what the game says. That is the secret room. Someone made an Isaac randomizer that has the overlay that you can put into your screen region. I know. I want you to know I am not doing this like just to be like dismissive to the person who made it. But in the post where they talked about making it, they said, I know NL is like too lazy to actually set up like a screen region for this, so I made it so it's just like a .exe that you can download, and I was like, so close. Not out of rudeness, but I would much rather set up a screen region than download your .exe and put it into my OB or your whatever the application wrapper ends up being. It's open source. Oh yeah, it's very simple. I'll just spend time that I could be spending with my family, like vetting the code to make sure that it all looks good, as if I have like the awareness to even know if there was some kind of like malware in it. And you know, it seems like a good way to just like get your identity stolen is to just execute code specifically designed for you that you didn't pay for. It just seems like a great recipe for getting yourself for getting your bank account emptied. Instead, I think what I'm gonna do is just, you know, show it at the start. And then if you don't see it, then you can just ask in chat. Or you don't even have to ask in chat, because what's the bet anyway? Pot playroom. Every time, the pot playroom. I'm not trying to be rude about it. Really, like, what it comes down to is, like, I'm asking nicely. If you're making software, like, for the stream to make, you know, as like a personal project that you find fun or enriching to do, by all means continue. But there's never have the expectation that I'm gonna install it. Just because, like, it's the risk to reward is, maybe I'm paranoid, but, you know, the risk to reward is, like, so high to just get some text on the screen that shows where I'm going. It's it only takes, like, one disaster for that to ruin it for everybody. I think honestly, I think it's a solution in search of a problem. That's my, like, my cool guy way of describing it, because now there's, like, 10 more elegant solutions in chat, and I'm like, I don't think it's a problem. I think right now this is a hammer in search of a nail, but I made it just because I had the time. You know what? That's what I like to hear. Hey. As someone, okay, like, is this really where we want to start? Why would I involve myself in this? I know, like, it stops with me, but I gotta acknowledge people are like, it only takes like 10 seconds to read the code to see if it's, you know, a hack or not. First off, you're trusting that I would know what I'm looking at in the first place, which I'm not sure if I even would, because I haven't opened the code. Secondly, it's like, you know, I hate to be rude, but it's like, it's my time. Like, this is this is not a sandwich not asked for. This is like, you've given me a job at this point, not asked for. I get that it's like, you know, not that time intensive probably, but, you know, it's also it's not your time to donate. Why you got me doing analysis on malware in my free time just to put a couple of things of text on the screen that as soon as I put it up, people are going to be like, is there any way to disable this? It's kind of annoying. It's covering up the name of the... It's covering up his score on daily challenges. Trust me, I've been doing this, you know, this is like year 10 or 11 or something. Why not? This could be fun. Oftentimes you go through all the trouble, you set it up, and then people are like, thanks for setting it up, I hate it. And even if they like it, the problem is that Twitch variable bitrate will lead to the font appearing like, you know, it's from the Game Boy Color on the screen. People will say, is there anything, is it my monitor or is it Twitch? And then you say, it's Twitch. And then they say, sorry, I moved away. Did anybody tell me if it was Twitch or if it was my monitor? And then you're like, okay, you get the idea. This isn't my first rodeo. This is, it's like my 200th rodeo. I do know, it's crazy, doesn't Ludwig have like a software engineer on staff? That's beautiful. That's super cool. And I gotta admit, I look at stuff... I don't even know if this will work, but let's try it. Look at that, you got two bonies here. I gotta admit, seeing that Germa made like a custom extension for the Dollhouse stream, I'm like, it's crazy that we're in like... People always talk about the new meta on Twitch is like, oh, what is Amaranth doing? Hot tubs, man. I'm like, nah, dude, the new meta on Twitch is like actually ambitious. Getting your own, running constant game tournaments that require like an on-staff organizer. Hey, look at this, it actually worked. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a trinket, I mean, pointy rib. Not that special. Oh, the trinket is incredible. I don't know if it's good for this character, but still. The new meta is not hot tub ASMR, you know, ear mic farting. The new meta is like You know, have a small team of dedicated staff doing like tournament organization and, you know, coding stuff that actually adds to the engagement of the stream. It's very cool. It's very neat. It feels like an exciting time to be in the Twitch landscape. That being said, I'm mostly just riding out the Isaac Casino until I die or the site goes dead. But once every like 18 months, I get the hunger. I get the hunger to do something ambitious. And I'm trying to think the last time it happens. I don't know. Pogo stuck? Oh, man. Probably not. Possibly before the baby. Yeah, the baby, it's time intensive, no doubt about that. We're due. That's a fair way to describe it. We're due. Is Children of Morta coming back? Oh no, absolutely not. We beat it. It's done. It's gone. What, do you expect me to just play the same game forever? Anyway, I'm having a great time on Isaac today, but I'm... Get it? Get it? That's a cheap joke. I don't even feel good at making that joke at my own expense. Does a range down as the Forgotten make your bones smaller? So when you think about it, the length of your bone is kind of your bone's range. Some people got a little bit more of a sniper rifle. Some people got a little bit more of a sawed-off shotgun. We can finish the floor by going there. No, but the hitbox changes. Well, I mean, what is a bone if not a mechanism to hitbox? And what is grief if not love persevering? You know? WandaVision? Anybody? Ah, man. All those double entendres really makes me think of WandaVision. What is a pickle if not a cucumber preserving? Okay, I like it. What is beef if not cow persevering? Okay, like, you know, we all get it. What is word if not word that's related persevering? That's not important. What is important? Oh man, last night, I gotta tell you, I got some new steak tech, okay? I'm very cheap when I go, I mean, that's maybe not even apt to say. I'm not necessarily cheap, but I am unwilling to pay the price that is asked for like a lot of grocery store items. For example, like, I very rarely buy steak at the grocery store because it's just so pricey. Like, sometimes I think about, you know, treating myself and I'll do it, but it's like a once a month sort of thing at most. When I'm at the fish counter, I'm very, very hesitant to get out of the tilapia / you know, salmon category, and salmon's not like crazy expensive here. Like, once you get into the halibuts and the black cod and the Chilean sea bass and stuff like that, it gets crazy, man. But last night I went to the grocery store. I was looking at what to have. I had some leftover fingerling potatoes, very common, and I said to the butcher, "Give me 2 of those strip loins," and he said, "Any 2 catch your eye?" I said, "Surprise me," and then he like moved a couple. I swear to God, this is real. He moved a couple of steaks out of the way and revealed like 2 of the most beautifully marbled strip loin steaks I've ever seen, and then he just said, "How about these ones?" And I said, "That's perfect." Like, it was like he had like a special like super beef that he's just been holding for when somebody says please, and given like the crappy gristle to the people who are like really demanding or something. And I cooked it last night. We don't have a cast iron pan yet, but we just got one. We literally just bought one like 2 days ago. That's being shipped now that I'm cooking more, it seemed like a great investment, right? Because they are pricey to begin with, as I'm sure you're probably aware. So, and I don't like putting it in the oven just because, like, I never know whether or not our pans are actually oven safe because they have, like, the weird rubber handle. So, like, they say oven safe, but I don't know if they're oven safe, so I don't do, like, a, you know, like a sear and then into the oven. Oh, you're right, you can swallow the tick. I imagine they're probably oven safe, but you know, we're gonna just do that when the cast iron gets here. So I was looking up tricks for how to get a perfect steak in a pan because it's kind of tough, you know. If you cook it a little bit too long, you know, you can end up with it being like medium well on one side and rare on the other. You know, and I got a tip that I'm gonna pass on to you. I don't have a meat thermometer. I already know what I should just get one for one, but I already know that there's the trick where, like, I don't know how effective it is, but like if you take your hands and you go, if you want like a rare steak, you put your index finger on your thumb and feel like the fatty part on the heel of your palm, and that's supposed to be like what rare feels like, and then this is what medium rare, and this is medium well, and this is well done. But the tip that I always learned that you put it on, hold on. Let's see what we got here. No, we don't need it. I always learned that you should cook the steak on one side to its desired doneness to get a nice crisp Maillard reaction on it. And then flip it over and finish it. Which is just good advice in a lot of avenues in life. But the website that I was on said sometimes it can be effective to actually just flip it like once a minute, and it makes the doneness more even throughout. To my, you know, my skepticism was like, if you flip it once a minute, you're not going to get that crispy coating. I was very wrong, and the meat turned out beautiful. I'm used to like a little gray and then red and then a little gray and then the other side, right? This was just skin. I guess it's not skin, but it was sear and then just beautiful, buttery, like, you know, light crimson. Oh man, absolutely. Well, if I cook a steak again in the just on the stovetop, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do the exact once every minute and a half. I think it's the way to go for me. It did set off my smoke detector, but which reminds me, I actually had a great what I consider to be a great tweet, which is when my smoke detector goes off. And then it would be a JPEG from the babysitter sketch of I Think You Should Leave. Oh my god, you're gonna tell on me? I didn't want my wife to know that it was getting smoky in the kitchen. Because people look at the smoke, when the smoke detector goes off, they assume that you're burning something. But sometimes it's just that you're cooking at a high heat and you gotta get a crust on something. There was no risk of fire. Look, it was, I'm willing to admit, okay, it was olive oil, okay? We only have two kinds of oil in the house right now. We have olive oil, which is not great for cooking steaks at because it's got like a medium smoke point. And we have avocado oil, which we got because Kate read an article about like you're not supposed to have like canola oil or vegetable oil if you cook baby food in it because it gets like messed up. Like I don't know how true it is, but she cooks all the baby food, so it's I would describe it as a fair trade, quite frankly. Let's test it. You know, it's a tiers upgrade, right? It is a tiers upgrade that has no impact on us otherwise. Sure. Let's get another charge for this for the believers. Avocado oil could work. I don't want to say it, man. But like, I don't mind avocado oil, but it kind of like, it has an aroma. Olive oil probably also has an aroma. But it just smells like oil to me because it's considered the default here. But why not use butter? Well, you know, butter has a... I did use butter for the basting after I had gotten them close to being finished, but butter has a relatively low smoke point of like 350 degrees, and you got to get the heat going a little higher than that, so I think you end up, in a lot of circumstances, running the risk of burning the butter. I'm being careful because I'm like, I don't want to... If you cook your steaks with butter and you're an evangelist for that, I'm not trying to tell you that your steaks suck, because maybe you just know something I don't. But the smoke point on butter is a little on the it's on the low side, but so is olive oil for that matter. Clarified butter? Okay, you know, I didn't know that. Clarified butter is just, it's ghee, right? Good day to you, partner. I'm ghee. I can already tell I'll be the best part of this godforsaken curry. Of course, it's always High Priestess, man. NL, how does it feel to be early on the streamer house buying meta? Yeah, I've been reading a little bit about that today, just because you can't escape it on Twitter. Oh, my best friend Hassan is trending for 48 hours. What's going on? Oh, everybody hates him because he bought a house. Well, no, actually, it seems like it's pretty divided, but I like legitimately. Because I've seen people be like, what's your opinion? I legitimately have, like, no opinion, and not just, like... Well, no, I do have an opinion. My opinion is, like, I guess good for him. But, I don't have a strong opinion on it one way or the other. If people are like, why good for him? I'm like, well, you know, because I like him. And it's a big thing to buy a house. How do I feel about the optics of it? Bro, I don't... Look at me. I don't care. I have no idea. That's... Yeah, I'm getting into that idea that, you know, you don't have to have an opinion on absolutely everything. I'm not qualified to, you know, discuss this issue from that lens. People are mad, so be it. And if people are stoked, so be it. Yeah, unless it's a change to Tainted Lazarus, like, don't ask me how I feel about it. Second secret room, Eddie? Remember when this game had second secret rooms? Shake my DH? Shake my dickhead? La 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 la. Okay. You know what? We might be able to make boss rush on this one. Hey! Avionics? Talk about OnlyFans? Dude, I don't like... again, it's similar in that I have a limited opinion. But how you gonna ban the stuff from your site that is your site, you know? It just... I guess I'm just trying to make a joke out of it, but I'm like... How can you, like... I guess I just don't understand how you can even try to do that. I guess we won't be making boss rush. Chib was pissed. He's gonna save a lot of money now. He can put that into VTI. Who am I kidding? He's just gonna spin it on crazy time. Yeah, like I understand that I guess like Visa was putting pressure on them. Which sucks. But I'm also like, surely somebody, maybe like everybody at corporate HQ has to know that this is like the end, right? Like how does the site exist without the thing that everybody knows the site for? It wasn't Visa, it was MasterCard based. I use Visa, so my hands are clean. Hey, hey, hey. It turns out by a stroke of luck, I have no moral culpability for being involved in this. Wow, couldn't... You know what? It's just like when TwitchCon booked the hotel for like 2018 TwitchCon in San Jose, and then the hotel workers went on strike. My hotel got comped by Twitch, so I was a scab staying in that hotel. And all the streamers who didn't book the Marriott, instead they booked the Four Seasons 7 months ago, were like, whoa, I don't know what I would do in your shoes. Ooh, is this like a morally tight situation? I'm like, well, I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck you. You don't care about the striking workers, nor do you care about the fact that I'm being yelled at every time I walk into the room. Every time I walk into the hotel, I'm a foreign tourist from out of the country, and they're getting you going, check out, and I'm like, I would love to, cause like it makes me feel really bad and weird, but I got a contractual obligation to be here until Sunday. Could you? Can you just give me like a cool guy pass to cross the picket line? You don't understand. Yeah, people. I mean, I'm playing it up a little bit, admittedly, but there were. That was one of the first great Twitter mutings, where people were like, first off, there was the classic like, just scab, just being called a scab, and I'm like, I don't know if that's how that word works. But then there was. You should find another hotel, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Totally booked a convention center, like, that all the hotels were sold out, like, 6 months in advance. Why don't I just, like, on the day of, just get another hotel or Airbnb? And then there was, like, it's okay as long as you spend one night picketing with them. And I was like, these are... Do you want to fly down and do it with me? Like, if you'll fly down and do it with me, I think that could be fun. But otherwise, I'm like, man, come on. Just, blue baby, blue baby, blue baby, blue baby. Blue baby, blue baby, blue baby. I will if you pay for the ticket. Who's the scab now? Doesn't really make any sense, but, okay, send me. That being said, you know, I understand how this take looks if you take it as, like, its worst possible, but I look at it more like, are some of those tweets insane to me? Yes, but I'm also like, you know what? I don't blame them on an individual level, because I guess it's insane times. So, you know, don't get me wrong, I still muted almost everybody involved. But that's just par for the course when you're, like, annoying. But at the same time, I didn't judge on, like, a personal level. I was, you know, it's the same way, like, I'm sure part of the reason that people are cheesed off about Hassan's house is not just because, like, you know, it's Hassan, but also because, like, you know, they're just pissed off about the housing market everywhere. You know, when people come into an issue like pre-tilted, I think that they're much more likely to respond aggressively, for sure. And that was in 2018 when things were like relatively normal. There was still some, you know, some bastions of civility. At the time, I was like, this is crazy. Oh, that's not how you place bombs in this game. I'm just mad he bought during a seller's market. Tell me you believe in timing the market without telling me you believe in timing the market. I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into real estate. I don't have that strong of an opinion on it one way or the other. But, you know, when interest rates are super low and Jerome Powell's out there saying, like, they're going to stay low until maybe, like, the first quarter of 2023, like, your carrying cost to own a house has basically never been lower than it is right now. So even though the housing prices are expensive, the actual cost to buy them is like is as low as it's ever been. As long as the interest rates are low, like, houses are going to look attractive to people. Although it's calmed down a little bit here. I mean, now we're getting into, like, some I'm now like mortgage pilled. I'm looking at chat and someone said they got a 2.5 fixed rate on a 30-year mortgage. You got that locked in for 30 years, you son of a bitch? Get back here! You're a fake and a fraud. You're not an intellectual. For 30 years? I mean, I'm on like a... I'm in a similar boat. I think I'm on like a 2.5, but it's a fixed 4-year term. So I'm like, dude. But you're gonna look so silly when they have to take negative interest rates into account, and then my bank starts to pay me for the privilege of having my mortgage. Oh man, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm paying 2.5%. Meanwhile, NL's getting paid -1. I think we take it. I don't even know if it works. Copium. NL's finally lost touch with his viewers. True, but I was also asked. This is one of the rare times I was specifically asked about the housing market. I will also say, like, you may think that this is, I'm a traitor to the renter. Not the case. What's the bit that annoys chat the most that I do? I don't know. Low-key bits are pretty top tier. The other one is just, even if your apartment says that it's, no pets, just buy a pet. What are they gonna do? Fuck them. I'm sorry, but... I mean, don't buy like a, you know, like an orangutan or something like that that's gonna really screw it up. But you want to get like a dog or a cat? Sure, by all means. And the other thing is, oh, okay, I guess I got. People always, you know, whenever there's an argument, I love this little like clot with the knife, man. Whenever they talk about like, you know, housing stuff, there's always like a landlord that pops in and is like, you don't understand. I'm taking an incredible amount of risk by buying the place in the first place. Oh, really? Like, you know, when the central banks around the world have demonstrated that they simply cannot afford to let the housing market die and will, like, keep interest rates as low as possible forever. And then, like, and property costs are crazy, or property tax is crazy, and you're like, it's, like, I don't know, it's different everywhere, don't get me wrong, but I think in BC, it's like, you know, 1% of the value of your property per year or something like that, which is absurd. Some places, I'm sure it's higher than that, but... And then, I hate that we keep bringing this up, but I know that, like, there was a story about how, like, some landlords were, like, liquidating their houses because of the eviction freeze in the US, and they're like, enjoy it when mom and pops don't own houses anymore and they're all owned by BlackRock. And I'm like, that also sucks. But at the same time, I actually, like, trust BlackRock to at least have, like, some kind of customer service in place. So when shit breaks, they'll, like, hopefully have a standardized way to deal with it. Whereas, like, a lot of the mom and pop landlords that I've had in my life, I'll be like, hey, my sink's broken. And they're like, they just send back, okay. And then I'm like, unbased? I don't know. I've never worked with BlackRock. But I have worked with some moms and pops. I've also never seen Jaws 3. But I have seen the beach house he bought, and it's magnificent. Nice pivot. Oh, thank you, thank you. It was, I hate to do that bit, because actually, so there was another viral tweet that was like, you know, it was dunking on Tom Arnold for doing this absolutely dogshit movie called The Stupids back in like 1995. And then someone on Twitter was like, this movie's dog shit. And then Tom Arnold said, I got paid $5 million for The Stupids. And then literally, this is how I know that Michael Caine bit had jumped the shark. Almost every reply to the Tom Arnold tweet was the Michael Caine quote about Jaws 3. And I was like, okay, I gotta get a new repertoire. That's his rate. There was some of that too. There was like, that's his quote. Even if I do a bad job, they still got to pay me the $5 million. Oh yeah, the tweet was like, Tom Arnold must have lost a bet to be in the Stupids, and he was like, I got paid $5 million to be in the movie. That's it. Which, and again, we're dredging up a lot of topics we talk about a lot. But were I a Hollywood actor, I think I would sell out constantly. I mean, like, if you're out there going to see the Stupids specifically because it has Tom Arnold starring in it, which is why they're paying him that money to begin with, you deserve to have your money not taken from you, but compensated with a subpar film. I would be inclined to say that if you're the kind of person that would go see a movie just because it stars Tom Arnold, you're probably the kind of person who would think that The Stupids is like the funniest shit you've ever seen. So I don't see what the problem is. Would you have starred in the Emoji Movie? Absolutely. I mean, if, you know, if they're paying me my quote. Why not? What's the argument? Like, I think that, you know, there's actors out there like, you know, Joaquin Phoenix and, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis and stuff like that. They want to be seen as super serious and only do, like, insanely serious work. That's fair. If you really want to be regarded as, like, the Laurence Olivier of your time. If you just want to work, I'm like, dude, sign me up for the Emoji Movie. Absolutely. It's gonna get paid by, or it's mostly gonna be seen by, like, little kids anyway. Who cares? As long as you're not in any movies with Gina Carano, like, that's where I draw the line. What if you had to be the shit emoji? I'm all in, man. I don't care. Make me the shit emoji. Make me cry laughing. I think if I were in the Emoji Movie, I think I would make a great pensive. If you don't know what pensive looks like, just do : pensive : ouch. That's me right there. I think I would be a fantastic pensive. We got Monkey's Paw. I'm not sweating it. There can be no Curse of the Blind if you have Monkey's Paw. Good egg emoji? Ooh, ooh, ooh. You should be dead, right? Not quite? Not quite? Anyway, yes, I would be in the Emoji Movie. Like, I know I've dredged this up 1,000 times, but I always think of, like, people got a little bit rankled that David Cross was in Alvin and the Chipmunks, and they're like, you're a serious comedian, how can you be in drivel like this? And he was like, shut up, dummy, it's for kids. You're like a 35-year-old dude with a master's in fine arts. Just don't go see Alvin and the Chipmunks in the theater. You'll be fine. You really think there's any, like, 10-year-old kids out there that are like, oh, David Cross is in this movie. I love his anti-Bush rhetoric. I gotta go see Alvin. Normally, I wouldn't be interested in this drivel, but now that I know David Cross is in it, oh, man. It's gonna... Now I gotta go see it. I'm literally crying right now. David Cross should... David, you've betrayed me. I have all of your comedy albums, but your role as Ian in Alvin and the Chipmunks... How do I explain to my 35-year-old son that his favorite comedian is in this family movie? How am I supposed to explain it to him, David? He's in his room right now listening to Sunny Day Real Estate. Are you happy? +2? I had +2 radar on that one because I knew that Sunny Day Real Estate would do it. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. Exactly. By the way, we're gonna win. I'm sorry to the doubters, but you know, look, I'm only sorry because this is what I wouldn't want to be a doubter if the run was hard, because then if I win, it's like you lost twice. But if a run is relatively easy and you just liked the odds, then I'm not gonna be mad at you for being a doubter. It is what it is. That's life. Help me, help me. Maybe I won't live. Maybe I made it out. Saved. I had invincibility anyway. Dude, I've been watching a Little Hob lately. I don't know if anybody else leaves this stream and then goes watches a Little Hob stream, since Chiblee has been on hiatus for a little bit. How is Hob able to do a hitless Dark Souls 2 run with no weapons? Like, with only consumables? Like, how is it even possible? I'm not like, oh, he's so good. I'm like literally on like a mechanics level. I don't understand how he outputs enough damage in order to beat the game. Like, I saw him play for a bit, and he's using, like, those urns or whatever, like the elemental urns. But I'm like, how do you get enough... how do you get enough souls to buy enough urns to do it? And then also not get hit is really funny, but... and impressive. He farms... oh, that's... okay, yeah, I forgot. He uses, like, the bonfire ascetic and then kills the rotten 4 times and then... man, it's crazy. He had piles of notes and planning for it. I felt bad because, like, I tuned in once and he was, like, at least 2/3 of the way through the run. Literally, this is the dream, though, right? Like, within 5 minutes of tuning in, he was on the Shrine of Amana. He was about to fight the Demon of Song, and then he accidentally kited 2 enemies, or pulled 2 enemies at once instead of 1 at a time, and that led to him getting hit, and I was like, oh, no. It's like you could just feel the energy in the room get sucked out. And then, I swear to God, this is just like, I've had a storybook amount of luck recently. But like maybe 4 or 5 days ago I tuned in and he beat the Pursuer just pretty early, and then like maybe a minute after that he just got hit by a random enemy on like the whatever it's called, the Bastille, and he was very unhappy, let's put it that way. Anyway, this is... it's very impressive. It's a fun watch. He has a bet. I saw, right? He has to do all the hitless runs, and then get 40 Warzone wins within the month, or he has to go skydiving or something. I can relate to that. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, skydiving, like that's something that normally people might be thrilled to do. I'd be like, nah, man, I would sacrifice a lot to not have to go skydiving, I think. He's at 26 out of 40. Well, we'll pay out the believers on that one. We're at 7 wins. Nothing wrong with that. Dunk. Donkey, dunka, dunka. Donkey, dunka. Let's do /marker casino 1. That one's gonna have some spicy comments on YouTube.